My name is Mike Shepard. I'm a producer. I want to get to know the artists in my new community. This is 1,000 Meals with 1,000 Artists.
How did you get here and where did you come from? Tell me where you've been and where you're going.
Hi, my name is Nemo Scio. I'm a color artist.
My conversation this week is with Nemo. Nemo is a photo artist who I only just met this time that we sat down to enjoy fish and chips at the Third, which is located in Ottawa, sort of Hintonburg, Westboro area, Wellington. There's a couple really interesting spots in this area. That's where we sat down to enjoy fish and chips. This was really the first conversation we had. How I got to know Nemo was he reached out over Instagram, saw us that we were doing this series, sent a direct message, really just to compliment the series. He thought it was a good idea, thought that 1,000 Meals was a really great way to connect. I checked out his profile and saw that he himself was a photographer. And I thought, let's sit down, let's talk, let's chat about your art. Our conversation is really about him being a photo artist and what that means. He's someone who walks out into nature, brings his camera with him, and just sees images from there, takes the picture, and suddenly you have a really interesting story being told out of simple moments in nature. A really good example of this, if you look on Soul One's Instagram or Facebook account or any of our social media accounts, you'll see a few days ago we posted a photo that Nemo gave me as a gift that is a splash of water, but if you look closely, you can see it's some kind of sea creature that is sort of jumping out of the water. He says he does little enhancements to help bring the images clearer for everybody. He really talked a lot about wanting to just bring a bit of joy to the world, to everybody who's viewing his art. If he can make people happy, if he can bring them some sense of joy, then he himself is happy. So he sees these images quite clearly, but it's really nice to see that he's willing to do a certain amount of work to say, I'm going to show you this image and make sure it's clear to you so you can see what I see. He showed me some other images, a character from the Matrix popping out of water, things like that. A really interesting picture of a tree with snow on it that very clearly you could see an eye and kind of a bear-like creature hugging a tree. It was really, really cool to see samples of his art, and we'll share what we can on our social media platforms. What I really liked about this conversation with Nemo is I really got a bit of a different perspective for the first time in this series. Nemo is someone who's been doing photography for 10 plus years, like a very long time, but only in the past year has he really committed to this photo art and wanting to kind of make it more the day-to-day what he does. So it was really interesting to speak to someone who had a little bit more experience, has definitely been doing photography for a while, but is only now really finding that time. He talks a lot about time and needing that time necessary to create, so you don't get yourself too exhausted and tired with the day-to-day goings on of life. I really enjoyed our conversation. As I said, we were at the Third. It's a wonderful restaurant if you're in the Ottawa area. It's fantastic. It has a lot of really great food, portions that are just so perfect for lunch and dinner. Like, it really fills you up. It's a really great atmosphere. We do talk about that it books really early, so definitely check out the Third if you're in the area, but know that it is a popular spot. I hope you enjoyed the conversation like I did with Nemo, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where his work takes him over the next couple of years. So talk to me about that. How long have you been doing this for?
Actually, not so long.
Okay.
To do that, actually, I had to quit my job to be able to do that. So I'm giving you roughly. So, for instance, I have been here in Ottawa for a year.
Okay, right here.
Little bit plus, maybe a month plus. So I would say during 3-4 months, I was able to grade 3-4 times more than during the work.
Yeah.
So daily work kills it.
Right.
I think it's every artist hustle in those days.
You found like it was
It takes
takes
away
too much time.
It
Yeah.
takes away your creativity.
Yeah.
It takes away time and hours when you can be creative,
Okay.
and you will be tired.
Yeah. So you've only been sort of committing to doing your work
Last year, but
Last year, okay.
Photography
Yeah.
over 10 years.
Okay, so you've been taking photos for over 10 years,
Over
but
10
you've
years.
focused on your art for the past year. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. And what would you say, like, just in terms of photography, what do you like? What do you try to capture?
I find I get so bored when I take similar types of photos. So when I look at different artists, the different pages on Instagram, I
Yeah.
see similar types. Okay, I can understand that's kind of signature
Okay.
of the artist, but I like to have different.
Okay.
kind. So it keeps your mind going, and it keeps you improving yourself.
So when you say different things, so is it whatever sparks you in the moment? Like you're just looking for something that you're like, oh, I want to take a picture of this. Or are you planning it out in advance?
No, I'm not even planning much.
Really?
No.
Okay.
There is no staging. Those photos, what is
To that extent, like what you're showing me is a splash of water, but it's images. Like you are pointing out, okay, this is a person, like the
Yes.
Matrix.
Yes.
I saw it so clearly. Like it was very much that. That's very cool.
that's what I do. And now I have like 5 to 10 projects similar. going.
Similar to that
Yes.
one. Okay. And so that one, the last one you showed me of the tree,
Yep.
which like had snow on it, which like to me still looked like a figure. Like you could see like kind of almost a dog or a creature or whatever.
It can be a lemur, whatever.
Yeah, you're stumbling upon these things.
And for me, it doesn't even matter if it's water,
Right.
snow, stone, whatever.
Yeah.
I see that.
So do you bring your camera everywhere you go?
Usually there's like law on that. When I don't take
Yeah. Where you're like, oh, I didn't take it, and here's the most cool thing I've ever seen. Yeah. That's cool. That's understandable. That's really cool.
Sometimes I have a gut feeling. I have to take it.
Yeah.
And things start happening.
Yeah. Which is really interesting to me because you're right. I'm sure a lot of people have said, "Oh, I've looked up at the clouds and seen something," but what you see in the pictures you take, it's so clear and specific and interesting to me.
But there is a but.
Okay.
You need
What's
to
the
have
but?
time. That time is essence.
Okay. And how much time does this kind of take up?
This one, actually, I was able to take 9 images with features inside the hour.
In an hour.
Yes.
See, I would have thought it would have taken more. So it just depends on whatever you see. Might be more complex.
Yes.
It might not be. Okay. But the time you're talking about is
Time
By
to,
doing
to,
other
to
work.
be creative.
right.
That your mind is clear, you
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
do 8 to 5 job or whatever job,
Yeah.
you're buried under and you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's
I
sad.
agree.
It's
I
sad,
agree with you.
but world runs this way.
Yeah. Because you're working your job to try to make money to
Yes.
live, but what you're saying is true, and I've been there. Where creatively you were talking about creatively you're exhausted, you go home, you're tired, you don't want to do anything else, and that means you don't have time to even spend the hour taking the three
It's not.
pictures.
It's not that even not taking a picture.
Right.
It's after you need to do some post work,
Yeah.
adding some image, how should I say it? Altering it a little bit
Yes.
that
Yes.
people would understand it better,
Yes.
or they wouldn't see it.
So that's what you do. You take it and then you make little alterations so it's clear for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
And that's my goal. And it's not showing my pieces. It's also teaching people that there's certain people who see things differently.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't think in all my time, and I will admit to not having a lot of experience with visual artists specifically, but I've done a lot of artwork in my life. I don't think I've seen something quite like this, where you're literally through one splash of water
here's 4 or 5 images that are coming out, and you just explaining it was clear to me. And whatever you did to that photo makes it so clear. Like, oh yeah, no, that's a creature coming out of the water. You can see the eyes, you can see it. Yeah, it's very, very clear.
And the other thing, what I do now, almost last year, I've been doing all my pictures with one lens only.
That's not one lens.
One lens.
You're not changing it out.
No,
Interesting.
I only use one lens.
Why?
It's a
works
little
for you?
magic lens what I bought.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a Japanese lens.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard company Super Dacomar.
100%.
Well, that lens is.
Okay.
I think it's 60 years old or 70 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like a
Yeah.
legendary lens what creates bouquet shots
Yeah.
mainly. But I use it because I love the colors
Yeah.
and I love
And it works for you.
I love Gucci
Yeah.
as a color.
Yeah.
It pleases the eye.
So you've got your one lens, a little bit of editing work, obviously. You're going around, you get these magic moments. You're saying that if you don't bring your camera, you're going to miss something.
Yes.
So are you planning walks to go into nature, or are you
Yes.
just, okay,
Yes.
that's the
I-
planning
I-
you do. You're like, okay, this is my time.
Yes.
Okay.
Nature talks to me.
Okay.
And I'll take what is granted. Basically, there have been moments when I feel like, okay, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to go out, and I know that I'm going to get good shots. And at the end of the day, I will get them.
And you get them. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a gift or, I'm just a vessel to something.
Yeah.
To show people something.
Well, I mean,
Or teach.
could be a little bit of both.
Or bring little goodness to this world.
Well, yeah, because it could be a little bit of both. I mean, a natural gift that you're clearly taking the time. That's the thing. Some people do have gifts, and they don't take the time
Oh, you
to
have
own it
to.
and
It's a
try it.
wasted gift. Is a sad.
Yeah. So it feels like you are doing a little bit of that. And like, yeah, those images really interesting. Like, it's very entertaining. It's really cinematic almost. Your photo, like a still photo told so much story. Like, you probably, like,
On movement,
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Yes.
Well, which is great, which is really, really cool. What are you sort of hoping to do with everything now? Like, you're saying to bring little joys, and because, like, are you going to try to do exhibits or opportunities for people to see your work?
I haven't. People have told me that I should.
I think you should.
That I should do it. I'm just in this world. I'm just on a first step.
Sure, step one, right?
And I looked at your LinkedIn and
Yeah.
I saw you've done marketing. I find that's one of the hardest.
Oh,
now.
yes. Yeah.
So if you can give me a definition, what's art nowadays?
If I can give you one?
No, give me a definition. What is art?
What is art? Okay.
Yes, in your opinion.
In my opinion, art is an expression or a story told through the act of creation.
Okay.
That to me is what art
So,
is.
but I wouldn't say it's part of me, but I would say it's there's a contradiction. Let's say there's so many artificial intelligence platforms.
Okay.
You just write a sentence
Yeah.
in a web browser, and you get tons of pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Is it art? You just enter one sentence. Let's say lady walking down the beach and whatever, like a silly sentence,
Yeah.
and they create 10 different versions. Is it art?
I would argue no, only because right now I don't think artificial intelligence can create from nothing. Like, it has to have input, or it has to have something.
But think of it like all those big, like Instagram, TikTok, they're all algorithms,
Yes, they're all ever. Yeah.
all
You're right.
artificial.
Totally.
So
100%.
even taking account of like comment, I haven't even pushed on viewers. How many? I have like 40 people following.
Something, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't even care about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying for that.
Right.
But that's how the world works. And where I was getting with my dog is, let's say you're a young artist starting something.
Sure.
You want to put your step down, and where you're at, there is those TikTokers filming 5-second videos on a loop, and what is a picture worth nowadays?
Not much. Not in the way you're explaining.
And,
No.
and everybody has camera.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, I have a camera. It gives me great options of like field of depth. And you can
Sure.
change shutter speed and
Yeah.
whatever. But you can get most of out of regular iPhone.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I would also say, though, as much as I use my phone and I take pictures, and I do take pictures all the time, I can't tell a story like you just told me.
It gives you more chances to
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
Basically it can stop the time.
Yep. And you're part of that too. So
Yes.
your camera, which is your tool, is part of it, but you're identifying it and seeing it. Where I didn't see what you saw until you showed it to me and
Well-
pointed out and told me the story, and I was like, I see exactly what you're saying. It's so clear. So that I would say is the other difference. Can an artificial intelligence do that?
No, not yet.
No,
At least.
no, not yet. Yeah, yes.
And the picture quality is not clear.
No, exactly. And I think part of even though sometimes it costs more and sometimes it's more time consuming, I try not to use AI stuff. I go to people because it's so much better. Like if I want to create logos and stuff for the work that I do,
Oh, that's different.
I've got to go to a human
or a signature.
or a signature.
Yes, that's
for
still,
sure.
It's
For
not
sure.
artwork.
And you've been in Ottawa about a year. And were you in Canada before that or back in Europe?
Canada had been since 2013.
Okay, 2013.
I've lived like different cities. I lived in Toronto. I lived in Montreal.
Okay.
And now here. I like a city. I like it most.
Ottawa?
Ottawa.
Okay.
Most calmest. There is no rush. People are different.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I like it, but I only just arrived in Ottawa myself. I've only been here about a year and a half. I really like the art scene. I had been in Kingston, which is just about 2 hours away from here.
Okay.
Mid-sized city,
Yep.
200,000 people or so. I had been there since like university. I went to university there. It's
I
a long time in one place.
I find Ottawa doesn't look like a big metro. Even bus traffic is lousy. When you lived in Montreal is crazy.
Yeah, I've heard that.
How the metro works, all the simple things. You don't need to have a car in Montreal.
Right.
You live there. And
Yeah.
You can get
Yeah.
from one side of the city, Port Vertude or Henry Bourassa, like in an hour, and it's like 50 kilometers, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
What-
it goes like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ottawa to me is that nice in between where it's not quite a huge city. It's very similar to where I came from, but there's a little bit more of everything.
Yep.
I think I spent too long in one place that was too small. Right. Yeah, too
And-
long in one
and
place. Yeah.
It's I try to do things too like this to bring little light, little joy to people,
Yeah.
like a human touch, not artificial. You can put all the things on wall without putting them there visually.
Right.
But if all of this thing takes away time again, and then you get overwhelmed. I might have like one of the platforms. I might have 8,000 followers without single sale
Yeah, yeah.
because price might not be right,
Right.
or the platform might be wrong, or there might be too many competitors. Even if my art is different, you have to create your art, which is basically wall art.
Right.
Not every person wants to put that kind of art to the wall because
It's true.
It's not a home art.
true.
It might be cool
Yeah.
visually,
Yeah.
but it needs like artsy surrounding an artsy person who
Yeah.
buys it.
Yeah.
Because mainly you drive around, look at the houses, you see same colors.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see gray, you see brown, and you see black. There's other colors too, but those are dominant colors, and there's no color.
It's very universal in that way,
You
yeah.
see clothing.
Yeah.
What men are wearing. Men clothes are usually dark, and dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go,
Blues,
you want
blacks,
to buy
dark, yeah.
yourself, let's say, red winter jacket. Not many companies provide it.
No. No, you're right. It's all the same. No,
But,
you're sure.
but it's all about colors are what gives you good mood. whatever you do, you look at the wall, you see green wall, it gives you good mood. You see blue wall, it gives you calmness.
Yes.
You see orange, it might raise your appetite.
Yep.
Like little things,
Yeah.
but people don't even look how little things make life go around, and you become less stressed and little things.
No, it's a good way to look at things. And you're very right. Different colors give that sense of different feelings, and it invokes something.
I was a government worker for a while, and I had a chance to get the severance package.
Yeah.
And one of my friends who had grandpa buried in PC, he said like let's do a work holiday
Yeah.
for a year. And I came to Toronto because there's huge Estonian community, like 30 to 50,000, depending who considers themselves Estonian.
Yeah.
But I came to see what they're doing, and it's my grandma's best friend actually moved here before Russian occupation. He fled,
Right.
and he lived in Toronto until she died. So for me, it was interesting to see different kind of Estonian.
Yeah.
But it was similar in a way that I felt like kind of trapped inside my country. Sometimes you feel like you've grown out. I was a manager for a while, and it didn't give me anything anymore.
No, I know that feeling. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'll do a travel and then go back. And I met my wife in Cuba.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, and she didn't want to live Europe, so
Yeah. I can understand that feeling too. Like sometimes you do feel like you've grown out of a place and you wanna try something new. You want to get out. Like that's essentially what got me here. So yeah, it makes sense.
and my friend went back. I kept postponing my tickets and then paid.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I want.
So what do you think nowadays when everything has gone so much more expensive, food, everything? So what is the people's mindset as buyers? You see the marketing on that side. Instead of like going out and buying that picture, do they buy a loaf of bread instead?
Well, yes, I do think people are.
As the need for
Yes.
art decline.
I don't know if it's. I think art is always one of the first things to go when times are hard. However, I think people in the first couple years out of that pandemic, it's been tough. I will say this past year, in all the work I've done, I've seen a bit of a push back to going to theater, to buying art, to going to movies, to going to. I've seen it come back.
But there's still depression.
Oh
in the
yes.
field.
Oh, 100%. And it's not everyone. It's a certain market that's getting the disposable income again, and others don't. Now, however, there are some grants out there, and this is where you have to be kind of with it, where I can get a grant, and I've gotten it before, by making my event free. So the money covers the cost it would have been for someone to pay to come to the event. So
Give me an example.
So I did a film series.
Okay.
Where it was for 1 week. It was films that were created by young artists across Canada, and they all only had 48 hours to do it. So they only had a 40-hour chunk to film and edit it. So I did screenings for 1 week, but I got a grant to cover the cost of tickets to make it free for everyone, and it was packed every night. But I still got the money from this grant that would have been from
Very,
making it
very
free.
brains, but still very good.
Yeah, and it is like specific.
It's,
and
it's like a how you call it, like a quick test.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. And that can happen. And by making it free, there's that value. But I've done tons of ticketed events. And this year, I worked with a theater company that went on tour, and we had a great summer. Tons of people came out. Now it was outdoor, pay what you can. So some people paying $5, some were paying $50. Like it was kind of up to them. That pay what you can model also works out. People will pay what they feel they can do, but they can afford. And then it worked really well. We had really good audiences. So people were starting to come back slowly to it.
Yeah, well, I think you are in great path on that. I think young artists need some like it's an ensemble.
Yeah.
It is like structure, what they need.
Yes.
Because they have only little piece of the cube,
Yeah.
but they need them all at the same time,
Yeah.
or it won't work.
And there's a lot a young artist can learn from someone who's been doing it for a while, even if it's just tips and support and someone to talk to. Like, that's one of the things I'm trying to create that I didn't do last time. We just did it on our own. I want to work with artists who aren't young because that brings in a level of experience, and this like mutual mentorship happens, where an older artist learns from a young person and a young person learns from an older.
And if you even find the places for them to do the staging,
Yes.
like a physical place,
Oh, for sure.
a house where it's pictures,
Yeah.
their art is there. That's a huge improvement.
Yeah.
For the self-esteem too.
Yeah.
It's not just internet.
Yeah.
When they look for the followers,
Yeah.
Young people, they are like get so down when they don't have followers.
100%. Yes.
So it goes to their self-esteem, and
Yeah.
they at the end they might be, oh, I don't want to do the art because nobody likes my art. Although, because the algorithms, it might be a different situation because nobody sees that.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live.
And that's the thing, your insight that you're giving is exactly why I want that team up. Because you're just from that point, if you're speaking to a young artist, you can give them that confidence of like, it doesn't matter. Just keep creating.
Those are my observations, what I've seen during,
And that's
let's say,
useful.
6 months.
Yeah. And it's very useful.
Yes.
That is very useful. And not everyone, you're right, not everyone, it's hard. Sometimes people silo and think in this way, and you giving a little bit of perspective.
A little push. A little push out of the door, and they might say, oh, it's not so hard.
Yeah. No, it's true.
It might be just a friendly advice, what to do.
Yeah.
1,000 Meals with 1,000 Artists is a project of Soul One Arts, Inc. Produced and edited by me, Mike Shepard. Original music by Savannah Shea. Thank you to this week's artists and the local restaurants who host us. For more on 1,000 Meals with 1,000 Artists and Soul One, please visit soulonearts.ca. If you're an artist, feel free to reach out to us on our website and connect for your own meal. Thank you for listening.